AITAH for gleefully telling people that I was diagnosed with an illness after they dismissed me. I have always been a filler person. My parents each had a child they obviously favored. My mother favored my younger sister, and my father favored my younger brother. I am the friend who is ignored in a group. I am the employee whose birthday is forgotten. I'm the person who doesn't get dates. I've gotten used to it. As a result of being this agreeable, filler, and boring person, I think the people around me don't realize that I'm a real person who has needs like everyone else. The prime example was when I said that my chest hurt and I coughed all the time. The people I spoke to said that it was not a big deal, and that I'd be fine. I'd never complained before, so I should be fine. I took that to heart and wondered if I really should have told people that I didn't feel well, and if I was making it up in my head. It took me a long time to actually tell the doctor my symptoms because I thought I was overreacting, but I had to get checked out. Well, it turns out that there was something wrong with me. I have stage 2 NSCLC, editor's note, lung cancer. I'm still independent and handling this alone. I drive myself to and from appointments, I pick up my mediation, and I reason with doctors and insurance. I haven't slacked on housework or at work. In fact, I've worked even harder. Today at work, I told my friend I couldn't help her move as a favor because I had a medical appointment that day. She pressed me for more details, and I just said that I have treatment for NSCLC. I didn't want to give more information than that. My husband complained that I told her the information gleefully, as if I were happy about the news. I told him I'm happy to be diagnosed because it's proof for myself that I'm human with needs like everyone else. I wasn't crazy. He said I shouldn't act like this. My husband has been unstable and touchy about random things this year, so I don't know if he has a point. AITAH. Edit to the same post. I'm in therapy. My therapist and I are working through things, and she's been very helpful. I feel somewhere between a filler person and an automation. Filler people aren't real. They don't have complexities in life, and they exist solely to make others shine. Machines don't get sick. The diagnosis was something concrete. I exist, I'm a person, I'm not crazy, and it's not in my head. I don't want attention from others. I cried and felt relief in the same moment. Thanks to the comments, I think I know why my husband has been unstable and touchy. At the beginning of this year, the love of his life got into a car accident and broke her femur. She survived and is healthy now. I think that could be part of what's concerning him. My illness is a reminder that she could have deleted and she could still delete, and life is unpredictable that way. I alone wouldn't inspire such emotion in my husband. The comments made me realize that my husband likely felt helpless at the concept of pass away. I traced back when he started to become touchy and moody, and realized it was when she got into that car accident. My husband has asked for help, but there's nothing for him to do. I have taken care of everything so far and will continue to do so. Relevant comments. You buried the lead with that my husband's love of his life got in a car accident statement. The love of his life, my husband's first love, the one that got away, whatever you want to call it. They were childhood friends. They dated and broke up when my husband was young. She's a passionate person who wants to live a passionate life. My husband never got over her and blames himself for losing her. I met him shortly after he broke up with her. We dated for 2 years. Through bits and pieces, I've realized how much she means to him. He was an hour late to our wedding. I found out later that his father had to talk him out of leaving me at the altar. It would embarrass his family. He had doubts because of her. I mentioned her once, and he snapped at me to never mention her name again. He looks her up constantly, as she frequently posts on social media. They remain tangentially connected. He is always interested in news about her. He loves her deeply still, I know. She got into a car accident earlier this year and broke her leg, her femur specifically. I didn't think to connect his moodiness and general upset with that until now. She could have deleted in the crash. My illness is a reminder to him of how fragile life is and that she could have deleted and she could still delete purely due to chance. You are the main character in your own life. It's funny because when I'm alone, I feel normal. And when I'm among strangers and acquaintances, I feel normal. But when I'm with anyone else I actually know, I've already been relegated to the background. My therapist said that my lack of emotional demands, or what she calls reciprocal emotion or behavior, means that I attract those who don't care to reciprocate. We've touched on it, but we haven't worked through this yet. There are a lot of other things to tackle. If he's offering, let him help you. I genuinely can't think of anything for him to help with. It just so happens that I'm good with planning and executing tasks, so I have a handle on things. On the flip side, I'm not creative or imaginative. I know I'm being blasé, but it's not as if I'm hiding how I truly feel. It's unfortunate that I have an illness, but I don't feel upset or scared. What happens, will happen. I don't know what my husband could help with. I've handled everything. I've even set up plans in case I do get hospitalized. I don't think I've relegated my husband to the sidelines. I made a ton of dumplings and other food and stored them in the freezer so that if I'm hospitalized, he'll eat something nutritious instead of takeout. He can cook, he just doesn't like it and won't do it unless he has to. I have always centered people around me. Maybe that's why I feel like filler. There is no consensus bot on AITAH, but reactions were mostly NTA with some YTA for how you treat yourself. Update. The past week has been a roller coaster of emotions for me. My therapist had suggested that I write my thoughts and emotions in a journal, but I always convinced myself there wasn't enough time in a day. Writing that post made me realize that I was dealing with a lot of emotions that I had suppressed. I did resent the people in my life who just took without giving back. I had told nobody besides my therapist about how much I feel like a ghost of a person and how I pushed things down and never complained. So I spent hours writing down my thoughts in a diary. I realized that I needed to be more honest and stop tiptoeing around people to make them comfortable. I told my husband that I knew about his past with his ex-girlfriend. I knew that they had unresolved feelings, and he needed closure about her and their relationship. He kept checking her social media throughout the years, but it intensified this year after she was in a car accident. He was shocked that I knew. I encouraged him to reach out and get the closure he wanted. We had a good conversation. He hugged me and reached out to her pretty much immediately. I think he was waiting for that push from someone. He was so happy after the conversations they had. He was glowing. She's apparently coming to our city in a month, and they'll meet in person. He's been more affectionate and genuinely lighter, like there's a weight off his chest. I went through the motions of life. I started ignoring calls from my parents. I didn't want to help out anymore. I was too tired. My mom called and said I was being arrogant and moving away from family before asking me to help with something. I didn't reach out to my friends. I have only a few, and we would text every day. I realized we texted because I always reached out. I told someone else about my diagnosis. My neighbor, Nancy, is a woman in her late 70s. She's one of the few people I feel seen by. She cares about me, and if I had told her about my health issues, she would have told me to go to the ER. I know why I didn't tell her, but I wonder why I hope for care from people who have demonstrated no care for me instead of those that do. She was so worried for me. We had planned a fun day trip to see a flower festival next spring. I drove home on my first week of the second cycle, and for the first time, I was exhausted. I had to pull over and rest for an hour before I felt well enough to finish driving home. I was so exhausted I didn't want to move, and I sat on my driveway. It hit me then that I didn't have NSCLC stage 2A. I had lung cancer. I could delete. I just started sobbing. All I could think of was the stupid flower festival. I haven't lived my life. I love my husband, my family, and my friends. But I don't want to be married to him. I don't want to cater to my family, and I'm tired of my friends. I want to live. I want to be well enough to drive and see the flower festival with Nancy. It's only been a week and a half of change, and my emotions have gone from low to really high and back to low. I've been dreaming of my life after I beat cancer and left my husband and friends. I don't even know if I can stick with it, but I am determined to be strong. My therapist says change from within can start small or big. She's proud of me and thinks I can get through this. Thank you for watching the video.